Hello, ladies.
Hi, Auntie.
Hey, aunties.
Welcome to Auntielisten. This is episode 3. And as usual, we are going to start with our quote. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We are going to live on. We are going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
That's one of my lines from a movie. Boy, I was all fired up with that one.
Yes. Do you know what movie that's from?
I do.
The movie Independence Day?
Yeah.
Yep.
Independence Day. Yeah. That is the quote by Bill Pullman's character, President Thomas J. Whitmore.
Yep.
Yeah. I love that quote. I say it all the time.
That one is when Samuel Jackson was making the speech about them getting everything together, and then the shark on was it Blues? That I felt bad, but that was hilarious at the same time and dramatic. So many emotions right there.
I crack up.
Until you know what I'm talking about.
No.
Every time I crack up.
Deep Blue Sea, that's the name of it. Samuel Jackson, LL Cool J's in it, a couple other people. Good shark movie. Very, very good shark movie.
Is it Samuel Jackson and Jennifer Lopez?
Is she in there? No, that was Anaconda. I don't remember her in there.
Okay.
But I remember LJ is in it.
Yep.
Okay. I'll have to look for that. That sounds fun. Sounds
funny. It's hilarious.
Same kind of speech that he was giving. And it moves you just like that one, except
at the end, it was all good. And that shark came up out that thing. What?
Yeah. It's not even funny, but it's hilarious at the same time. Like, whoa. Just, yeah.
Okay.
All right, what we got on the table this week?
Okay. So July, of course, is Independence Day. But we're not the only ones that are celebrating independence. I was looking at the calendar to find out what's going on around the world and discovered that other countries are celebrating independence as well. Canada, they celebrate their Independence Day from the independence from Britain on July 1st, and that happened in 1867. Colombia Independence Day celebrates from Spanish rule July 20th, 1810. Peru celebrates independence from Spanish rule July 28th, 1851. I thought it was interesting that we weren't the only ones celebrating independence this month. What do you guys think about that?
It's funny because it's 4 different nations celebrating against 2 specific nations, and I'm just wondering what their counter celebration is. Are they over there snubbing their noses at the other countries? Joking, but not joking.
Right. You know? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Do they roll their eyes on people's Independence Days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never kind of thought about that.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then the other thing that is being celebrated this month, which I didn't know this was a thing, but it's Black Women's Equal Pay Day, and that's on the 27th. Have you heard of that?
Nope, but my job will as soon as I walk in there on the 27th.
I heard that. Black Women Equal Pay Day.
He like, do y'all know what day it is? Do y'all know what day it is? Probably be my last day.
Right?
Yeah, I see it like this, Poochie.
With the head.
It's like, oh yeah, here's your equal pay day along with your last check. And then also Black women inventors are also celebrated this month. I didn't get the date for that one though. And then on the 23rd is Parents' Day.
All right.
Yeah, those are all the celebrations that are going on for the month of July. So I guess we should give a shout out to all the countries celebrating their independence and a shout out to all the current, past, and future parents out there.
Yeah. So then here's a thought too. When you fight for your independence, it seems kind of important to me that you wouldn't then turn around and be oppressors to people under your tutelage. Just saying.
Yeah.
Because all the countries that you name, they have issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
The oppression
do.
is real.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get into our show. I originally had a different lineup, but some things happened within the past couple of weeks and days that had me change the whole lineup. I wanted to talk about this because of all of the shootings that has been happening. I did a little bit of research, and from January till now, there have been 200 mass shootings, 23 school shootings, and last year, 1,192 people killed by law enforcement officers. With all the shootings and stuff that's been happening, the question that has been running through my mind is, when are we going to value human life over the Fourth Amendment? What do you guys think about that question?
I don't think, first, I want to point out, because I just looked that up, what you said. There's been 200 shootings. There's only been 197 days. That's like more than one a day, every single day of the year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That being said, my opinion is not that it's people exercising their rights for protection and gun ownership is not, that those two conversations are always pulled in together. The gun violence and people exercising their rights. I don't think that that's fair, because there are responsible gun owners out here, such as myself. Not to say that something couldn't happen with something that I own, but however, many of the shooters have a certain specific demographic. I'll start there and leave it there. And another thing is, some of the I guess it's too easy to get a firearm, but however, people that really want one, whether they need it for protection, want it for protection, or they wanted to do wrong, they can get one anyway. I really don't know. I didn't help at all with what I just said, but those are just my thoughts. I don't know what to do except tougher penalties and stuff like that for people that misuse and people that aid them, because one that's coming to mind, I'll say this, is that young man that went to Las Vegas and shot up at that concert. His mother drove him there. His mother also bought him the firearm. So there should be accomplices in some of these things too.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, that was the one in Vegas a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
So she drove him across state line with a deadly missile, and she purchased it from him, and that's a whole lot of stuff.
Oh, yes. Okay,
right.
I remember now.
So some of these things they're just not looking at the full picture, in my opinion. There's a lot more involved than just the one person. A lot more involved than just mental illness, all of that.
Yeah. Auntie Marva?
I think I've never really known. I think I'm kind of like Pooja. I've never really known what to say with these issues, because on one hand, yeah, we can say, oh, the police shooting us. When will it stop? When will it ever end? But then a lot of it ain't got nothing to do with the police. Some of them is whole other agendas that's going on. And then you got the other people that are saying we need to take the guns off the street. But just like Auntie Janisha said, the ones that getting the guns that want to do this stuff is getting the guns. It's not us. So once they take all of these guns off the street, and then the criminals are still getting their hands on guns, now we outnumbered. So how are we to protect ourselves? How are we to protect ourselves if they take all the guns legally, but the criminals are getting them illegal? And then the other issue is a lot of people, yes, the police situation is very, very, very bad. It is bad. But look at the numbers that you just said. There's over 200 and something shootings. We're only 190 something days into the year. So there's definitely way more than one per day. And then I lost my train of thought. But it is sad. It's sad. It's sad. It's very sad, because I just don't see myself sitting back and not protecting myself. Like, I don't.
Right.
I don't see myself sitting back and not, like, okay, yes, we have laws we need to follow. Thank God I'm in a state to where that doesn't matter. Thank God I'm in a state to where I don't have to worry about that, because I'm going to protect myself at all costs. Oh, what I was going to say was, everybody focus on the police, the police. There's way more incidences in that number, I guarantee you, that does not have anything to do with police,
right,
than it is ones that do.
Right.
So is it the police to be worried about? I think we need to protect ourselves at all costs. At all costs. I am not for the whole taking the guns off the streets. I'm not for that. I'm not for it. I don't agree with it. It doesn't make any sense, because the criminals and the people that are getting them illegally, they're getting them illegally.
Yes.
So that don't apply to them. That rule does not apply have to do. If you say taking them off the street, a lot of the time they're getting these things through higher power, through other work, through big, greater organizations, through, like you said, parents and what have you. They're going to get what they want. When they make their mind up to get something, they're going to find a way to get it. We're the ones that have to suffer on the other end of that.
Right.
So I don't agree with taking these guns off the street. Yes, we do have all of these mass shootings. Something needs to happen. Like you said, we need to figure out what is going on and dig deeper. The same way they put all of this money and watching and digging and searching and researching with the drugs to get all of the people involved in the drug game, they need to do the same thing with these people in these shootings and stop singling them out as if it's just one person, because that is not the case. And it is always not mental health. It is not. It really is not. And I'm sure they know this. I'm sure these are things that they've thought about, because these are very high-profile, intelligent organizations that are behind these cases anyway. We know for a fact that they've thought about these things.
Right.
But are they doing anything about it?
Doesn't seem like it. No, they're hiding behind the Fourth Amendment. Auntie Michelle.
Okay, well, I agree with everything everybody's saying, but at the same time, I'm going to hold the police accountable. Just as when I went and got a CDL, I was held accountable to be professional on the road. So when you are put in a higher position, you should be held accountable on that position you hold. A lot of those governors, and they are utilizing bad policing as a come up, just as we just seen Santos do when he called out 500 bad officers all across the United States to go to Florida and pay them $5,000 each to police Florida with the background of murdering, kidnapping, very bad, what they call them, jackets or whatever they call them, their history. So they're utilizing this as a voting hold. So I would start there, but I'm also going to say America is built on hate and violence. What else we think going to come out of that? You can only erase that to get into the bottom of the sea, something they're trying to erase, the hatred and the nasty education that was fine. It was never taken away. It was just, let's sweep it under the rug. Let's act like it never happened. How we're going to get in front of something we never actually started attending to the issues ahead. Yeah, we was not in slavery. No, we was not back there when all these things was happening, but those people was the ones what raised us and them. It didn't go anywhere. It haven't went anywhere. The mindset is there and it's being taught. Then you do have the good people who just wants to protect themselves. I'm not for taking away nobody gun rights and all this right here, because you have those people what have been taught foolishness and held in, they feel they are privileged. We don't discuss it. Let's not discuss it. Let's just say everything is okay, and whoever's whining and acting like it's nothing matters about those situations those people are in, poverty, lack of job, the drug pandemic, the breaking of the housing, prison the men and leave the women out here, put them on Section 8, and all those things come in. They go hand in hand with one another, to the point where they're putting other rules in place where kids have an upper hand over their parents.
Right.
Let's teach the kids that they don't have to obey their parents. It's called abuse if I spank my child about something, but you'll put a bullet in their back about that same thing I'm trying to do my child about now, so it won't become a thing. Starts at the top. It starts with history.
Right.
To bring that back, you're saying that, Auntie Michelle, you're saying that what I heard, violence begets violence, and that's how the country was established and promotes a lot of it, so we're getting more of it.
Absolutely. They promote it. They push it. They push it and promote it. They utilize it for their own selfish reasons to get whatever status they want, the money, what comes behind it. We're not seeing so many presidents do this. The president is behind the cocaine pandemic. Remember that. The violence of 9/11. But let's blame it on other people. Let's say they didn't have nothing to do with it. Let's not get in front of it. And yeah, if they promote it, it's just like a child. If me and the father of my kids see me doing certain nasty acts and saying nasty things, is being taught and promoted out within the household, they're going to think it's okay. And this is years. I'm talking about years, way before I was thought of and anybody else on this call. Years of promoting this.
I think it was Malcolm X that said something about chickens coming home to roost.
Absolutely.
That's what you're making me think about.
Yeah.
All right.
I personally am against guns, but I don't have the right to tell you what you can have in your house to use to protect you. That's all you. My issue is we have laws in place for if you go to a gun store to purchase a gun. It's my understanding that you can't walk into a gun store and just purchase it you got to fill out a form and you have to do a background check. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Okay. Why can't they have those same stipulations at gun shows? Because you can just go to a gun show and purchase as many guns as you want as long as you have the money for it. I think at gun shows, they should have to fill out a form, have to go through a background check, and I think there should be a limit on how many guns that they could purchase. But that's just me. That's just how I feel. According to the Gun Violence Archive, the CDC stated that 50 people are killed each day by a firearm in the US. And then the CDC did an international comparison. The US is 80.5%, England and Wales is 4%, Canada is 40%, Australia is 11%. I was thinking about England because their police and their detectives do not carry guns. They have a department that are armed. They're called the armed police, as a matter of fact. And they seem to have less gun violence than we do. Why do you think that is? Who wants to start?
I would.
Okay.
If you look up to how Australia handle acts of violence within the community, they actually do press and make an example out of you if you was to step out of line and you're found guilty. America do not do that here. They don't. If you look up, I remember watching documentaries of the prisons of Australia and how those people how to live in prisons. It's not texting and watching TV, and you have to get your ish together. You're going to be held accountable in punishment. I think it have a lot to do with it.
Auntie Janisha, your thought?
That's kind of like what I was saying before. Like, other than the penalties, I don't know what to do about that because it is very violent here. So I would not want to disarm people who feel that they need to protect themselves, because we do get stories also of people who don't want to take the law in their own hands, but they will call the law. And there are far too many stories where the person that's the aggressor gets off and the person that's being accosted or assailed or whatever, they are the ones that end up getting shot or they get arrested, because by the time the police gets there, it's all out of control and they're in such a state that the police just sees them as being the aggressor or something like that. It is just too easy for people to get off here or have it easy, like Auntie Michelle said, go to prison and pretty much, I mean, I'm even in favor of letting them get educated for free. That used to happen. At least when they get out, if they get out, there's something, but they're just turning people out to, just like with the military, which is a whole nother conversation. We're all being churned back out onto the street, all together competing for the same job. And the difference between a regular citizen who's not been in trouble, and I'll throw this back in here, and or in the military, is the regular citizen has not been hardened by the system. They were never like maybe criminal minded in the first place, so they're just not hard. And then the person that's been to the military, they're also trained in a certain way. So like, again, we're out here competing with both of those groups for jobs, for regular life stuff. And so I don't feel that it would be right to stop someone from feeling like they need to protect themselves. And no guns is not the only way, but if that's your chosen method and you're a responsible owner of one and you pass the background check, then I'm all for that. I don't know what else to tell them since I can't protect them myself, since I don't have 100% confidence in somebody, because as a matter of fact, all of our first line of defense is self. The first law of nature is for self. And until help arrives, you got to do something. And even with my mom, she does not like guns. She's very adamant. She doesn't even want to learn anything about them, nothing. But my thing is, even if you don't like them, you should learn how to handle one, because I have been in a hold up. I used to work in a restaurant when I was a teenager, and because I have some wild cousins, I knew a little bit about a gun at the time. And that's not the way I should have learned, but it served me in this case, just to know what it was that I was looking at. This guy did not have any bullets in this gun. It was on safety. It was just a whole lot of little stuff that he was just, if I felt like being a hero, maybe I could have. But I just knew what I was seeing. He was unprepared for what he was doing. He got away with the money. He robbed myself and the other two ladies that was working in that restaurant that night. But fact of the matter is, you should know, because he dropped the gun is how I knew what that gun was about. If I were to pick that gun up, at least I would have known how to now defend myself if I felt that threatened, right?
Right.
But if I had all of this fear, I'm afraid to touch it. And now he gets to drop on me and the other two ladies again. He grabs it, and you know what I mean?
Right.
I could have possibly saved our life if it had gotten that escalated. But all we did was just follow his direction. He dropped it. There was a pause because it was fear all in his eyes. And we just stayed down. He went for the gun and he ran out the door with what he had. But if it was a matter of I felt, or one of us felt like he was going to kill us, it would have been a blessing that he dropped that gun had we also known what to do with the gun if we got it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So my point is, even though you may not like something, that does not mean that you should not be prepared to use the something, or at least know something about it. It takes the stigma away. I'll give another thing and then I'll pass the mic. When my son was small, he had a fascination for guns, and it used to bug me. It used to bother me as a mom. I just did not like it at all. He used to take little sticks and he would bend them up in the shape of a gun because we wouldn't buy them. But then when I stopped being so rigid about it and started talking to him about it, then he stopped having such a fascination about it. And every child is not going to take the wind out of their sails like that, but it worked for mine. It was like the more I was pushing back against him, it's like he was wanting to know what this thing is.
Yeah.
And you have to gauge your kid, but at the same time, that's what worked in my life. And I think that taking the I don't know what you would call it, the oh wow, what, that out of things, sometimes that de-escalates the situation. We can't keep running around acting like stuff is so taboo when it's all around us. That's why we're even having this conversation. It's not taboo. Let's get to know this thing.
Right.
I yield.
Auntie Marva.
I kind of forgot, y'all.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
One of the stories that came across my YouTube is about this 14-year-old girl who got arrested for allegedly attempting a shooting of a student on a school bus. And that was a YouTube short posted by WUSA. Because it was a short, I didn't get all the full background, but allegedly she had other students. I guess she was being bullied or she didn't like the person or something, but she had arranged for these other students to shoot this other student while on the school bus. And you can see them all on the school bus. And she ended up being arrested for that. My question for that was, she's 14. Is it because of the video games that they play that gives them this desensitization? What do you think?
I would like to, can I take it?
Sure.
So yeah, I ran across that story as well. I wanted two things about that story. I definitely think, and the kids kind of admitted to, it was about the video game, how they came up with this particular way to revenge. And that was absolutely sad that a child feels that's their only outlet, that a child, a 14-year-old, I wasn't even thinking about pulling no gun on anybody at 14.
No.
And I was a while, but yeah, I wasn't thinking about pulling no gun on any. But yeah, it was sad. But another fold to that story I wanted to actually talk about is, instead of staying on topic of why a child will feel necessary to pull a gun and what we could be doing about this, especially with the bullying can really take you in a deep place. And it should be more things done about this situation within the school system and within the surrounding community. But we have a lot of adult males, because she particularly picked a young boy to participate with this crime with her. They some kind of way got away from that these was kids, where it's easily to be manipulated into such acts or just something to do. They easily said, oh well, women are always behind, something bad would happen. Wait, what message are we sending to these kids? Yeah. So I watched that story, then I watched some people, grown men, talk about the story, and they went on to say, well, women, we always manipulate men into doing these things. And it started at a very young age like that. I'm like, no, that's not in my opinion, because that was their opinion. I don't believe that's what happened. These are kids reacting violent behaviors of things that they find as a fun outlet. Video game. Why do we still have this stuff on the shelf? Or why, as Auntie Janisha Pucci talked about, why are we putting this stuff in our kids' hands? And we're not going to the point of talking about and educating kids on how dangerous these things are, because it is on our TV. It's in the movies, it's in video games, it's in books, it's all around us. But we have to be the ones that really educate our kids on how dangerous this is. I remember when I was younger, Grandma Phyllis would always say, when we pull a gun, it's either to protect ourselves or to eat. And that's the way I was taught about guns. It's one or the other. I'm trying to survive here. Their parents are not teaching this. Survivor should be the only reason you picking up a gun. You have no other choice but to save your life, or you means to eat. I mean, I'm out hunt, but yeah, that is a very sad and touchy subject.
Yeah. Auntie Janisha?
I don't have any thoughts on that one. I just would revert back to what this country has promoted, and it was long before video games. You know, it's a very violent natured country. I mean, I'm here. I reap the benefits of being here, being a citizen and all of that. Yes, but I cannot ignore the history. And in many cases, that those histories were not even written by people who look like me, they were written by people who look like the people that wrote them, you know, that did all these things and promoted violence and, you know, burned people's whole towns to the ground just because, you know, and nothing changed but some of the laws. That's my thing. I've heard getting into conversations with some people and been accused of bringing up the past, but I just can't ignore certain things. There are laws that were changed. That doesn't mean the people's hearts were changed. Right. They just had to do something different. And that's my thing. It would be so much different if, but that's not, we didn't get the if. What we got is some laws that were changed. And all of those laws are not even upheld. They're not even many, some of them like the voting rights, that it's a right. It's not a law. They have to go back and visit some of these things. If all things were equal and just and righteous, you wouldn't have to go back and visit it. It just would be what it is. And then we're going to enforce it. But that's not the nature of what we get here. So I can't overlook that. And yes, these young people, although they're doing things that are so heinous, they are young people. But then look at their examples. It's not the young people that's running around doing most of it. Most of it is people that should know better. They're not young people. They're adults. So yeah, they're getting it from video games, music, movies, but also real life grown people running around doing some of the same stuff. That's why we have all of these For My Man documentaries and reality shows and unsolved mystery. They have like 15 of those. Mm-hmm. All these detective shows, many of them, those episodes are patterned off real life events. Right. Why we got to have so many events? And 99% of them are not about children. Those are grown people running around doing nasty, filthy, evil things. I'll say evil. So I'm not sure who the children are supposed to be if they can't. They're just seeing what's around them and they're following suit.
Right. But my question was, do you think that the video game desensitized them to the reality?
Definitely. Yes, I do. It all plays a part. Like I said, the games, the music, the movies. Absolutely. I would say so. Because there was a time too, like certain things we would see it and it would be like, you know, now there's no factor. It's just what it is. And that's even people who are not trying to be out there emulating those games. It just is what it is. Like how naturally we're talking about all of these shootings and we're not upset. We're just having a conversation. That's sad in itself. Yeah. Like it's so rampant that it's like every day, like this is what it is. Yeah. That's the sad part.
Yes, it has become the new norm, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Auntie Marva?
All of the points have pretty much been covered, not just in gun violence, but in everything. Everything is put in our face everywhere, all the time. So much so that it's now it's like, yeah. So, yeah.
So the other story that came across my YouTube, and I was just, when this one came across, I was wondering what could have been done differently. This story is about an 11-year-old boy in Mississippi. His mom's ex-boyfriend broke into the house and was abusing her. He called the 11-year-old calls 911 and he gets shot by the police. So they're requesting the body cam footage. My question is, what could have been done differently? Because how do you not see a child to shoot? I don't know. I was just at a complete loss. Who would like to go first? Because yeah.
My first thought is Tamir Rice on that. I think I know the story you're talking about. And Tamir was that same age. And I just, yeah. What this child look like, this family?
They're a chocolate family.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a chocolate family. But I'm
Because
just
in the media, the way that our children, Black children, are portrayed is that they're not children. When something happens, they're generally the man. They won't keep saying the child, whether they're the victim or not. They don't continue to say that. They automatically, in somebody's mind, it's someone older, somebody something, and already a criminal. They don't have the same compassion. And what's coming to mind right now, I'm sorry, I always get like movies or something that these things just remind me of.
No, you're
In
fine.
what's that Samuel L. Jackson movie? Where the guys that raped his daughter and then he went and killed them. That movie.
I don't know.
And at the end, when the lawyer was making the final statement or whatever, he gave this whole scenario. And the last thing he said, now imagine if she were white. And that just shook everybody up because in their mind, they were just seeing a little Black girl. Oh, well, that happened. But it was very powerful for that lawyer to say, now imagine you white.
Yes, I do remember that movie. I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, I don't remember it either. But that's just the thing. And it's not just, I won't say it's just white people or other people. Black people have the same thing too, because we grew up in this same culture. So that disease, it is a disease that causes us to look at a child that way. It's the same. It's just that we look like the child. And some of us have the same biases. That's why it's not just white cops that are killing people of color and abusing authority. It's a disease that infects a whole lot of people because we're of one culture here.
Right. Is it A Time to Kill?
A Time to Kill.
Okay.
That movie. Yeah. And that's a very powerful piece in that movie. It moved a lot of people because it's a real thing. We get an image in our head of who should get sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it doesn't serve a whole population of people to get those images in our head. Populations, I would say.
Right.
Because it is more than just Black people.
Right.
There's like a protected class of people, and some of us will protect them too. Just like if you know anything about the hood, you'll have some non-color people afraid to come in the hood when they're actually the most protected in the hood, because people will actually tell them to get down before they start shooting. That's just a mental illness in itself. Let anybody come in the community that look nothing like the community do anything, but you'll terrorize the community. Make sure you don't hurt that person. And I'm not saying that they should be hurting anybody. I'm just saying it is an illness that we will vilify a group because of what they look like and allow someone else to, we imagine someone else to be a victim because of what they look like.
Right.
It's deeply embedded in our minds.
Auntie Michelle?
Yeah, I seen that story. And tragically enough, within the same week of that story, we had several incidents surrounding police. And then a story comes out. The story goes where it's some officers that have admitted to how the training of policing in the Black community is totally different than policing in other areas. They are taught to be more frightened and all this other stuff. Wow. But within that same week, a Black lady calls the police and said her husband's being held hostage. They didn't take her serious. They found the husband and the man was holding her hostage dead. They found the young Black girl in a dumpster, and the police had held her and killed her and set her on fire. They didn't do anything to them. The young man was lynched last year. They're saying, another incident came up behind the same people what did lynch him. They cut off his head, and it was said that they put his genitals in his mouth in Mississippi. That young man had escaped from them particular people what did it to them and told the police, and they laughed at him.
Wow.
And what's so sad is it goes back to how this podcast started, that it's the top. They don't do anything to these people. They know who these people are. They hear the complaint when they actually do.
You just broke up.
To do something so heinous that they cannot take up for them to actually take them off the street and take that shield of protection away.
Yeah, they're not being held accountable.
Every time an officer have actually been charged, all this stuff just comes up of how, oh, they was racist. We had a lot of complaints. This, that, and another. Now, all of us have work jobs. How many complaints can we get at that job before you're taken away from that position?
Not many.
As a truck driver, I'm pretty sure I can't hit by 15 cars and it be swept on the rug before they take my CDL. Pretty sure that's never going to happen. It'll probably take a couple times for me to mess up as a professional person, for me to be held responsible and accountable for my actions. So why, again, these people are not being held accountable for their actions. And then it comes into play with that young man, what they all say look like LL Cool J was shooting up the police because he spoke up about police brutality with the woman, the officer woman he was with, and they proceeded to fire him. As well as a black lady, not even 3 or 4 years ago, she came and she, told on the officer, trying to do the right thing and keep policing as a way of protection around us. She told, they fired her. Anytime the good officers speak up, they're fired. The officers would do these crimes, they're rewarded. They go home with pay, all this other good stuff. So we're going to continue seeing these type of videos. We're going to continue seeing this type of activities around our community because the ones what's in charge, they're not doing anything about it. And we speak up, we're just whining and complaining. I mean, leave our example. Let's say, can we say fairly how much the community would change if we start seeing a difference in the people was in leadership or in higher standards change first? Maybe we can see less killing amongst one another. Maybe we will never know because it haven't changed.
Right.
I just watched the video that white man, he put it up and it was like, wow, because it was like, wow. He said, hey, if y'all want to see gun control in our communities, I need all the black people to go out here and buy guns because it was nothing wrong with the AR-15, a particular rifle until Black Panthers started carrying them. Then they did something about it. Black Panthers are only trying to stand up for fairness. I said, wow. I was just in wow moment because maybe that's the thing. Maybe a lot of us need to buy whatever. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And we're going to continue seeing these stories and we can keep talking about them. But at the end of the day, if nobody wants to really backtrack history and really get to the root of that and the lawmakers and who is in charge of the laws, if we're not seeing a difference in those type of people, if we're not seeing a difference in how they're particularly disciplining these people, too many stories.
But do you feel that it's up to us as a community to help make those changes by voting?
I can say yes and no. My opinion on that is, again, we got a lot of people. Well, if I vote about something you're saying to me, you're just saying it and I'm voting on what you're saying you're going to do. And we, as the voters, will vote on what the promise is. But then in the hindsight, that promise never come in play. Because you have people on top of them, even if these people, some of the good people what are being voted in want to make a difference on that, you got so many other people what's interfering, say, we're not going to do that. Why would we do that? These are those older people. With the older mindsets. Old people need to get up out the way.
Right.
Really. Them nasty mindsets, they need to be admonished. What do we, that's a good question, Auntie. What do we do as voters? Where do we go? Where do we turn with it? I would love to know. I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't.
Well, me too. That's why I posed the question. Auntie Marva?
All the points have been covered for the young child that was shot by the police, but I want to comment on the voting thing. It seems like the whole voting thing has been played with in days of old. Maybe at one point voting actually mattered, but it kind of really doesn't matter at this point because we have seen things happen to where they've come out in mass numbers and the voting counted to where they could not, like they had no choice but to uphold what was voted into place. But then even in the midst of that, trickery was behind all of that because, like Auntie Michelle said, the promises was made. The promises sounded so good, and we were made to feel that we were going to be a change, but all in all, there was some change.
Mhm.
There was some change, but attached to those changes was some BS. So it was either, yes, we'll give you this, but in order for us to be able to give you this, y'all got to accept it too. So it's in those, and a lot of the moments, it goes back to like Auntie Johnny said, it goes way back beyond that. These people really don't want change. They like what they like. They've been doing what they've been doing for a very long time, and they're spoiled. They don't want any of that to change. They do not want to loosen their grip of this toy that they've been shaping and molding all these years. There's no way. There's no way that they're going to let that go. So yeah, we can vote. We can vote. And we have voted. But even in the midst of that voting, it's attached to some mess. If you go and look at a lot of the bills and a lot of the amendments to the bills that they put in place, read the whole thing. Don't read the bold print at top. Don't read just the first 2 paragraphs. You got to read the entire thing. Because at the bottom, there's something attached to it. Yes, we're giving them what they asked for. They've been crying about this. Oh, okay, we'll change this. And it might be the last thing on our list that we've been crying about. They'll take that and put it at the top and put it in bold print. But then an attachment, and it's in the fine print of that, there's quite a few things that will be added to it that we didn't ask for, that we know doesn't benefit us, that we know for a fact will hinder us and hurt us and be counterproductive to everything that we've been pushing for the longest. So it's like, and I'm seeing it more so in my face with my husband and what he's going through in his country. With everything that they go through, it's a replica, literally, of what is happening in our country, but on a whole nother level and right smack dab in their face. And it's like, wow, this is it just lets me see how good our country is at masking things, how good they are with the trickery, and how good they are with subjecting us to certain things that we shouldn't have to be subjected to. Again, in agreement with Auntie Janisha, yes, this country gives us a lot of rights and allows us to be in certain place and live in a certain way that many other people all over the world have never experienced. They never will experience, don't know what it is, and it's promoted as the best place to be on the planet.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of foolishness attached to it. And our voting sometimes don't mean nothing. A lot of the time, the voting that we're voting on, it's not for our benefit. It's just to hush us up.
Right.
And the most of the people that are in poverty, they don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it because they already got so many other issues of poverty that they got to focus on. So they're like, I don't want to go down there. I don't want to do this. So I'm not saying no, don't go vote, but at the same time,
right.
Y'all see what I'm getting at? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's a horrible slippery slope. It's horrible slippery slope.
That it is. The other story that came across my YouTube was something that I hadn't heard of before. Mommy body. This young lady went to get surgery to get the body that she had before she had her baby back and ended up dying. That really touched me because you hear so many stories about women going in and altering their bodies because they don't like the body that they're in. Auntie Janisha, your thought?
That story is kind of how I came across, like narrowed down my major. So I'm going into health psychology because it's the health psychologist's job to talk to people. They do a lot of other things, but definitely with those people that want to do elective surgery and also people that might need to do surgeries for health reasons. Talk to them to see where their mind is. I feel bad that so many of our young ladies, even older ladies, feel that we need to do all of this stuff to keep up with each other. It's like running yourself in a circle because I'm doing it for you and you doing it for me, and when we could have just stayed on the other side of it. And it is getting us nowhere. A lot of unwanted attention, a lot of misplaced attention. And I don't get it. I heard one young lady on a TikTok, she said that basically women, it's called a BBL. One of the things they're getting is called a BBL. That's when they get the real big butt and the real small waist thing.
Oh,
am I
okay.
right? BBL, Brazilian body butt lift or something like that. She said that basically women who are not doing that are poor women. So obviously that made me feel a way. I've never desired to do all of that. I'm not a poor woman. I'm not well off by any stretch of imagination, but it just, yeah, she struck a nerve, right?
Yeah.
I never even imagined if I had the money that I would do that. And I do know a lot of sisters that are that way, but then I know a lot of sisters I have talked to, they desire to do that. And I know some that have undergone those surgeries. They are dangerous. Some of these doctors are not even certified. They're not even real doctors. They just have found a way to make some of this stuff happen, and they're collecting 200 on go. And it is so dangerous. It's invasive on our bodies. The stuff is foreign. I don't know. Even with the skin bleaching creams, all this stuff, it's deadly. And some people die right away, and those are the ones that hit the papers. And then others of us are dying slowly because it gets in our bodies. It's there, and then we continuously put it back in there every month, every other month, every 6 weeks, however, whatever, to maintain it. Because that's the thing, they have to be maintained. It's not just the one shot on most of these procedures. And here we go. I don't know what to do. And that there again, with our young girls, I don't know what we expect for their futures to look like, because we are leaving them a horrible legacy and giving them so much of the wrong things that they should be even worried about.
Right. That is very, very true.
I am glad that a lot of the bad results that are coming out of these, I like the fact that they are on blast on high levels and being put out there continues like that. They're not really hiding them, and it's being put on blast by a lot of the women with the high profile accounts that have gotten them, and it's saying don't do it, don't do it. It was a horrible mistake, because we do see these stories. Sometimes they have things and it's like they hide those results and those outcomes, but this, I've noticed that they have not been hiding them. They have not been hiding them at all. The algorithm is pushing this on. So that I can appreciate. I can honestly say that I was one of those ones that I was very, very tempted to go and get some work done. I wasn't about to get no BBL because my behind is long. No. However, I was very, very tempted to remove some things because of, the imagery that we see. And yes, I get up 6 o'clock every morning and been doing it faithfully. I am on week 4, consistently walking an hour. And I've added things to that walk to make me sweat more, to make sure that I feel like I'm getting a good workout and my body is actually, I'm not just walking, but I'm actually doing something to help my body. And I've changed some things with my diet, and I've been adding things to help. But still in the back of my mind, no matter what I do, I'm not doing enough. And it over the past few years, I'll say over the past 3 years, I have contemplated getting work done. And it's because of, image. It's easy for us to have this stuff in our face, and not everybody is tempted, but it is so easy for us to look and be like, well, dang, I don't look like that. Or, oh, yeah, I do got that. Or, yes, my arms are about 15 inches around. Yes, my thighs is rubbing and have been best friends or have been Siamese twins all of their lives. It is so easy for us to beat ourselves down because of what we see and what is constantly put in our face. And so I honestly, just speaking, being frank and being clear, being 100% transparent, I have thought of that, and actually thought of it recently. But this young girl passing away, DC Young Fly's significant other, Jackie O, with her passing, it is sad, and it's a constant reminder of the danger that come with that type of. It's a constant reminder, and it's not just her. There's several people that we've seen. K. Michelle went and had her butt removed because of the particles that were seeping into her bloodstream, and B. Simone's sister, the scare that they had when she went and got her work done, and even the people that don't have big platforms. I literally know of 5 females that have went and gotten things, and they had some major scares, but still in the back of my head, I'm still thinking, well, that won't happen to me. I'm not getting a BBL. I'm not getting a breast implant. I am not getting anything put in. I'm just getting something taken away. So in my head, it's okay. It's all right. But at the same time, all of it can be detrimental to us. And these stories that are floating, that's showing us the results, is a constant reminder that this stuff is detrimental, and we gotta really stay on top of the mental. Like Auntie Tanisha said, somebody needs to talk to these people and let them know that you are okay, and you have to know that you're okay, and you are built the way you were built because God designed you to be that way, and somebody out there will love you as is. So I still deal with that. I deal with a lot of mental stuff when it comes to my body and how I look, and still have issues with my skin color. Still have issues with all sorts of stuff when it comes to looks. I have very, very bad issues dealing with that. But I'm not ashamed to admit that, because it's something that I fight against. It's something that I deal with, and it's something that I deal with on a regular basis. I do. So I'm not ashamed to admit that, but at the same time, I am glad that there are stories of truth that is out there for the younger generation to see. Like, just like crack. Don't try no crack. See what happened with the crackhead. Look at the crackhead, don't do crack. Crack. There was no examples of the outcome of crack back then, but there are many examples right now today. So we know what a crack does. So these stories of what's happening with these surgeries and how these surgeons are, handling the situations and not showing any remorse or not even caring, waiting such long times to even respond or just whatever. It's sad. It's very, very sad. So I'm glad those stories and stuff are out there, and it is a constant reminder for dummies like myself that consider that type of stuff and want to go do stuff like that to know that this is a strong possibility to be your outcome as well.
Right. Auntie Michelle?
I really don't want to touch on that, but I would like to send my condolences to DC Young Fly and his kids. Yeah, that was a story. Very beautiful woman, a mother, a girlfriend, sister, daughter that was taken away from us too soon. But I just say, people, look within, do your shadow work, do your affirmations, whatever it takes to find that self-love within yourself. So when things around you do come and attack, you will know you can block it because you know yourself. You have already promoted and reset your mindset. Just do the self-love. Just go on a journey of self-love and find yourself so you won't ever feel like you owe anybody anything more than what you have or can give. We all beautiful one way or another, and there's nothing wrong with difference.
Yeah, when I was younger, I dealt with a lot of body issues. But once I started my journey of self-discovery, that was one of the things that we worked with first was my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-love. And anyone who is dealing with body issues, I implore you to find positive support and turn off all those negative voices and those negative images, because not everybody is meant to be a size 0, and a size 0 doesn't define beauty. We need to define beauty for ourselves and not look to the media and not the film industry, the music industry. We need to define beauty for ourselves. Speaking of the music industry, what's her name? It starts with an L. I saw a thing that said that she wanted to leave the industry because she is being bullied for her body. And people, and I just want to say to her, what's her name?
So
Yes,
Lizzo.
Lizzo. Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say to her, if what you do makes you happy and is paying your bills, you continue to do that and be a positive influence in your industry, and turn off those negative voices.
I
And
don't
you
know about
do
Alex.
you.
He irks my nerves sometimes because
Yeah, I don't agree with that encouragement.
No, because
personally.
I mean, I know who she is. I don't know what she does in the. I'm assuming she's a musician.
She have used her body to gain the attention, and when you do that, you're opening yourself up to receive negative and positive feedback. So she's used her body in positive light and in negative light. And so for you to say that, why would you put your body in that negative light purposely just so you can get on the platform and say, I want to leave because they're talking about my body?
Okay, gotcha.
So and she's a great performer. She's a dope writer. She's very, very talented when it comes to the singing and the writing and the instrumentation that she plays. Focus on that.
Right.
Focus on it. You don't have to do
Dancing,
all the other
the beautiful lady. Yep.
Yeah, yes. And you're not even.
My issue with her is that she dresses the most raunchiest, nastiest, and it's not just a magazine cover where that might be okay because only certain people are reading it. It would be family programming. And it's therefore not just her. There should be a standard by how people show up on primetime TV. We don't have that anymore.
No, we don't.
We do not have that anymore. So it's the people at the top that's allowing these things from certain artists. There are certain artists, they protect their image, but there are certain ones that they allow their music to sound like anything, their imagery to look like anything. And it's generally, again, I keep saying it, people of color. There is no protection for our community. Now then, that falls on the community though as well, because it's stuff that we're consuming, people that we're supporting.
Right.
I love Lizzo's music. Love it. She is a great performer. She's a very big woman. Now, my issue with them body shaming her is that there are smaller women that dress the same way and they don't say anything to them. I'll give her that much. But at the same time, just because they make it in your size does not mean that you should wear it. And everything does not need to be worn outside the house with your nipples out and all that. That's the kind of stuff that she wears. Big women
Oh,
should not wear it. Small women should not wear it in the public eye. That's me being a prude. Whatever. Everything should not go.
She went to a Lakers basketball game and she had on a dress t-shirt. You know how they take the t-shirts and make them long into a dress, but
right.
it was the regular dress t-shirt in the front, but she had the butt cheeks. She has a very massive behind. And
Okay.
she had the butt cheek like Prince did on stage. She had the butt cut out, and she was like flaunting and bouncing and doing all this. And Kobe Bryant got upset. He was there with his family, and he picked his kids up and left because he said, you know, you can do what you want, you can do what you want as you please, but don't do this in front of my kids.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's situations like that with her that bothers me. That makes me angry because it's like, but you doing this to yourself. Wasn't nobody even talking about your body. Everybody was rooting for you because you really are a great entertainer. Like if you focus on entertaining with your talent and your gift, I promise you, you will be up there with Beyonce and because she really is good. The girl plays a
She's
flute.
awesome.
Oh,
When I
okay.
say a flute,
She's
and she
awesome.
plays that flute, she plays a flute like Stevie Wonder plays a harmonica. She is gifted when it comes to music. Focus on that. All them other acrobatics, you don't have to do that, bruh.
Yeah, she
Right.
does not need the gimmick at all
You don't
Okay.
have
because
to
she
do it.
has real talent, and
I
there is not
totally
a
agree.
lot of real talent out here like that.
I totally agree. The girl is great. Her talent is off the chain. Like I never seen it. I'm more excited of her music than Beyonce's. I'm not gonna be frank. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
her music.
I ain't going to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know I
Beyonce,
love my girl.
but I don't know. It's because she does more anthem stuff, and her music is fun. Lizzo's music is a lot of fun, and I like fun. I like dance.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
just my opinion of like what type of music I like, and I attach myself, my energy attached itself with her music. I love her, but yeah, I'm in agreements, baby girl. You got to turn it down.
Yeah.
And this is the
Change your
position they put us
mentality.
in. So then we want to, because she has a lot of songs that are promoting self-love and stuff like that. So when you try to match her music up with what she's dressing like, and I want to expose my young girls to that because it's about self-love, how can I fully support her in that? It's like
Right.
we're stuck. They give us these people that we're supposed to choose from, and it's like politicians, the lesser of the evil or some foolishness like that. No. That's why underground artists will always not win because not enough of us are choosing them. But on the other side, they'll always win because they're independent and ain't nobody pushing foolishness through them. Many of them are choosing that road. So I mean, it's like what it's disgusting, really.
Is
It
it?
is how
See,
they allow themselves to be used and then pretend that it doesn't affect, especially our young people. That's not even fair. That's
Right.
very insulting.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not familiar with her or her music. I just saw that and that really saddened me. I don't know. I just feel as women, sisters, we should be lifting each other up and not tearing each other down. We should be encouraging each other to be the best people that we can be. And
But there in doing that, Auntie Destiny, in doing that, there also requires a certain level of correcting.
yeah,
A certain level of correcting. Like we
I
can,
was
we
gonna say
definitely
that.
can and should. But then there's also, like you said, accountability. She has to accept her part that she plays in it too.
yes,
Instead of crying, saying, woe is me, they're picking on me, but I had nothing to do with why they're picking on me. But you absolutely did.
right.
Because she literally went straight to the top on launch. At the launch of her music, she went straight to the top. Nobody was bashing her. Nobody was talking about her weight. We were focused on like, girl, you dope. You really are good. Like, okay, you got something here. And then the more she put out, the more it was like, yeah, bro, you got longevity in this. But then on the flip side, when you on social media, when you're just on your live, or you're just at a basketball game, or you're just doing random stuff, you doing some of the worst things you could possibly do to bring attention to yourself. And it's like, I'm trying to like you, bro, because I really love your talent and I really love your music. But it's you that I don't like. It's that type of thing. Like you're making me not like you because Why you got to do this?
Right. So let me pose this question. Do you think that if we as women in our sisterhood were to rally with each other and stand as one and be united in our positivity, that we would gain our control back, and if we united our voices, then Roe versus Wade wouldn't have been reversed?
Control over what, Auntie? I'm sorry, I'm
If
missing that.
we had control over ourselves, over our images, over our bodies, or just building each other up, just being positive, sending each other positive messages, and just being united as one,
There's a way to
banding
be united.
together.
There's a way to be united by just having a standard. The fact that we let anything go and we feel like we shouldn't check her because she's a female, that it's okay because that's the way she wants to walk around. That is the unity. That's the unity. And
Yeah.
it's awful. It's a horrible unity that we have.
Right.
There's
Kinda
supposed
like,
to be some kind of standard as being a woman. And that's also in our last broadcast, we were talking about women being erased. That's how it's happening so easily because we don't have a standard as to what a woman is, what a woman actually, a woman isn't way over the top with the hand, now, all that, whatever they got going on over there when they put on all the makeup. That's not what a woman is. But because we don't carry a standard for womanhood, anybody can slip in the door. They can tell us we look like anything because we won't decide that this is what it looks like. We're in this culture where only God can judge me. Isaiah says, ye are all gods, but we'll leave that alone. We're supposed to be judging, because that's how you hold the standard up in the first place. You judge what should not even be there, what it ain't even supposed to look like. No, ma'am, we're not doing that in front of my kids, like the brother said at the basketball game. If we don't have any kind of standard, then what are we holding up? So sisterhood all hell, if I gotta deal with, if I have to go along with all that foolishness, that makes then me not even be protected, because that's the other side of it. If I get to walk around and do anything and say anything I want to do, and then I expect the brothers to run to my aid because I'm a woman, I'm putting them in horrible predicaments because the way I'm walking around, that's not fair to them. And it's not fair to me, the core of me, the softer side of me.
Right.
I'm putting myself in predicaments. And then I'm putting other people out there who would and could help me. That's not fair to anybody. And then my sister's gonna run to my aid because I just want to walk around looking the way I want to look in front of their daughters. It's the same way. That's a no-go.
It's the same way everybody was upset with Monique when she was talking about the bunnet. I myself am a bunnet lover. I will wear mine, and I will wear it in public. Do I have any business wearing it in public? No, I got no business. I need my behind whooped just like the rest of them, because it was something that she said. She was saying how at one point people used to look at black women and used to be waiting, ready to see them because they were in awe of the standard that we carried ourselves in. That's not a thing anymore. And to be honest, I've been checking myself on little things like that, because I'm like, how can I preach this word and say these things and not uphold it myself? So I've been making sure that, I don't walk around. Y'all know I am about hair. I don't do that anymore. I don't do it anymore because I can't tell you how to be a stand-up, upright female and love yourself if I don't look like I don't love myself. So I make sure that my hair is done now before I leave the house. I lotion up from head to toe before I leave the house now. I make sure that I actually carry a purse on the regular basis now. Y'all know I hate these things, but I carry these things now because it's necessary for me to make sure I have small things and trinkets to make sure that I am together when I leave the house, and that I stay together while I'm away from the house. And that I may even help one of my fellow sisters that may be in need, that she might not be in that place yet, but I can because I have enough hair. Like I'm in that place now. And maybe it comes with old age that I'm thinking like this. I don't know where it came from, but it just came to me one day, and I started like, okay, Marva, you need to do better. You really need to do better. And so now I make sure that I do better. That's why I get up and walk every morning, because I really don't want them people cutting on me. But I want to feel better about me and myself and my life. And I don't want to be breathing heavy when I get to the top of the stairs. And I don't want to be out in public and look down and my feet is the color of the concrete. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. I want to make sure that I am together, but also that when I'm saying the things that I'm saying, because we all mentor younger people that are younger than us. All of us do. I know for a fact all of us do. I don't want to give them the room to say, well, how can you tell me me about me when look at you type thing. So I had to check me. I literally had to check me. And I used to be against Monique. I used to be against Monique with the bunny thing because I'm like, what does it matter? I get it now. I get it now. I understand it now.
Is she the comedian?
Yes.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
When she wasn't bashing. She was saying, "My babies, I want to talk to y'all." She started it out that way. My babies, I love y'all, but I want to tell y'all this. But they tried to make it. They, you know how they do, cut it up, chop it up, and only pull out pieces that they felt like they were mad about instead of
Right.
receiving it from a auntie perspective, instead of receiving it from a mama perspective, instead of receiving it from that big sister's love, big sisterly love place. They only took bits and pieces of it and ran with it instead of really hearing it. Because I did it. I did the same thing too. Because sometimes we just don't want to hear stuff when we're being corrected. And I think that's some of the places where Lizzo is. I think she's in that same mental place. Like, maybe we're gonna correct. We have to. You put yourself in that light for everyone to see, and now that it's in there, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
I would like to say this off of what Marva was saying. I remember I was in a place of healing when Monique did it. I have always been a big fan of Monique and love her. And I would like to say she is one of the people what promote and actually stand up for Black women in general, but all women in the acting or just in general as a entertainer or whatever department you're in and grow. Because she stands up for what's right, and she do get they like to say that she's what's that little particular word they like to use with us all the time, that we are a problem. She always gets that feedback.
Angry and aggressive.
And she's not. When she do come, she comes in a caring, loving way. She don't raise her voice. She really just says what it is and what we need to correct. And she's absolutely correct. I should not be walking around. She even talked about wearing a beautiful scarf instead of a bonnet. And that is a thing. I have seen some sisters step out with some beautiful scarves on their head and have them things looking like, dang, baby girl. Yes. Why choose a bonnet when you can utilize all these scarves? They got them on Amazon, Walmart. Everybody carrying scarves. You can cut them up. I done seen Marva cut hers up and put it with an outfit. I mean, it's so many ways that we can do this without going to the something I'm supposed to wear while I'm sleeping to protect my hair. And which a scarf is to use live, but you can diverse a scarf. To be honest, you can diverse a scarf better than a bonnet. But another thing is when we are hearing things that we need to change about ourselves, when we are deflecting from it, it's because we are born of what we're talking about. I have got into different arguments with people as a tomboy. Why should I? But I see why I should. Why? Because I am a representation of the Black community. And Poochie's also correct. How I want the brothers to run to my aid if I'm doing certain things to put myself in that predicament. I cannot choose both. I can't have it both ways. I can't straddle the fence. Either I'm over here knowing that they are my protectors, or I want protection off of my foolishness. And nobody should run to my defense off of my foolishness. Nobody should be running to anybody's aid in their foolishness. We just seen this as a prime example with a young lady went in a rage and called her brother, and they went and entertained her foolishness. One of their friends was killed. One of the friends was hurt. And that's an example of we want things our way when we want it, but we don't want to hear about things what we need to correct. You can't have it both ways. You have to correct yourself. You have to hold yourself accountable, and we have to hold each other accountable for our actions. These things can lead to serious outcome. It really can. And we got to start doing better with our appearance, our mindset, our self-love, our anger. We have to do these things ourselves. Nothing is being passed out with counseling and all these other things, which it is a thing. If you need it, go seek. It's out there. Get the help. Don't be, we don't do counseling in our family. Well, wait, hold on now. So we're not going to do a thing because that's a family thing, but our family is still dysfunctional. No, go seek the help. The help is out there. The help is for us. I heard a particular person tell me when I was before I went through my divorce, marriage counseling is bad. And I'm just like, why is marriage counseling bad? I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as this helps save a lot of marriage, but we're not utilizing the tools around us. We're listening to other people, and listen to other people tends to put us in very bad situations. You got to go within, make your own decisions. But in doing that, you have to be open to receive any opinions. If it's for you, utilize it. If it's not, the hell away with it. But we have to hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah, that is true. We do have to hold ourselves accountable. And we also too have to have enough self-love and self-worth that if we are with a partner that wants us to change our bodies to fit the mold that he has built in his head, to say to him, I love my body the way that it is. If you don't love my body the way that it is, then you don't need to be with me. Instead of going and getting unnecessary surgeries, getting our boobs big and our hind parts big to please a man. The only person we need to please is ourselves. That is it for show topic. We are now going into open topic. Auntie Ashley sent me this TikTok thing about Black Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon, and in it he was saying that Astrid is not black, she is white. He just went on about how there weren't any black Vikings. And my first thought was, number one, how do you know? And number two, he said something about Vikings being a heritage. Vikings is not a heritage. A Viking is a lifestyle. You're not born a Viking, like you're not born a pirate. A pirate is a lifestyle. So what do you guys think about that? Yeah, it was funny to me.
I hear a lot of those, and I just be like, do they even understand history? Like, are you reading just what you want to read, and you're not doing your full due diligence of research? It was a lot back in those days, and it's just, I stay away from that topic because you ain't doing your due diligence. I find it funny when people just come out and want to take credit for things to erase other people history per se.
Yeah, because like the pirates, I mean, Vikings traveled the seas. They went everywhere. So who is to say
Sure
that in their travels they didn't pick up other people who was attracted to their lifestyle?
Oh, who's to say they didn't learn from other
Exactly.
people?
Exactly. Auntie Janisha, do you have any thoughts about Black Astrid?
I'm
My
sorry, my
thoughts
mother
say I'm
stepped in
stay
the
away
room,
from
so
that.
I didn't catch that whole little piece right there.
Oh, so they're doing How to Train Your Dragon, and they're replacing the current Astrid with a black Astrid. And
like mermaid situation.
yes, and the gentleman on the TikTok was saying that Astrid is white because she's a Viking, and there were no black Vikings, and that it was a heritage. And so I was saying that Vikings isn't a heritage, it's a lifestyle, like a pirate. A pirate isn't a heritage, it's a lifestyle.
Well, I will say that he has a lot more something to stand on than these little mermaid people, because they were Scandinavians, right?
Yes.
Vikings. Yeah, so they were actually white people. That's where they're from. That's their culture. I would say he's on it. Although everybody can be anything these days, and we don't know that there were not any black Vikings that black people that ended up being Vikings, simply because black people have circumnavigated the globe for thousands and thousands of years.
Right, because because there are some black people in
some of us came
Scandinavia. So yeah.
So, well, if he wants to protect, if that's his culture that he's trying to protect, that's one thing. But just to be race mad about it, go sit down. But at the same time, I say that he does have a right to speak on that. At least it makes sense.
Oh,
but going back to the mermaid thing,
but the
that's
thing
not
is,
even supposed to be a real thing. So yeah.
But the thing is, Auntie Janisha, the person who posted the video is chocolate.
Well, okay, and that's okay too, because I'm siding with that person. I'm not saying that she shouldn't be that. I'm just saying it's kind of a stretch. I get it.
You think
some things are a stretch.
Can I say something from the sidelines?
Somebody from the sidelines wanting to speak. Auntie,
I did
announce yourself. You Auntie who?
I'm Grandma Gail.
Auntie Grandma Gail.
From the sideline, I did I did some research on Vikings simply because we have a Viking cemetery here, and I want to know what it's all about. In my research, I found out one thing. Number one, they were white. They were Scandinavian. That's what I was telling her. Number two, the reason why a lot of people don't know about our history is when the white people first came to this country and they suckered the Indians and took advantage of them. The reason why they were so friendly towards them because as far back as the 12th century, the Vikings had been coming over, hanging out with them. They'll stay for months and stuff, trade with them, blah, 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 and then they would go, and this would happen like every so many years. So they were used to white people. If there was myths about the Vikings, they were not violent people as history tried to say that they were. And that was one of the reasons why the Indians took to them, the natives took to them because they had no fear of them.
Right.
They was already used to them since the 12th century.
Exactly.
And we have a historical Viking cemetery here in Fort Pierce, Florida. And that's what made me do the research because I wanted to know who these people were. And whoever said that, they were white. Now, maybe they might have, picked up maybe one. I don't know. But for the most part, they are 100% accurate. They were white people.
Can I say something to Grandma Gail, Auntie Gail? My mama child. But yes, it wasn't just Native people here in America. That's been said too long. And it wasn't just Native, it was Black as well that was here. It was a big, so I like to clear up that part of history.
Yeah, there was trade between a lot of different people.
Yes,
all
there
over
we
the-
are.
Michelle, I'm not disputing any of that. I just want to give you the backdrop on the reason why. Like I said, there was a rapport with the Caucasian race and the natives of this country and why they weren't afraid of them because they had been friendly with these people for centuries. When the Europeans came over from England and stuff, that's why they was easy to manipulate them and take advantage of them because they had been used to these people that had been coming over, being friendly with them, blah, blah, blah. I just want to put that in there. Now, the other races, like I said, yeah, there were people, Moors and stuff that had been coming to this country. I just want to give you guys who talk about Vikings, I want to give you what I had learned or research about Vikings.
I wasn't saying anything about your history, but it was a lot of inviting Black people of history too, and it wasn't just natives.
Yeah, and there could have been Black Scandinavian just because. Sometimes when people they didn't go back home.
Exactly.
So yeah,
That's what I was
he could
getting
be on
to.
something. He could. I digress. Then he could be onto something, and then he could not.
Right.
So yeah,
I was getting to that because there was a lot of them transitioning to other things and all that other stuff. So that's the only thing I was saying about, like, I love her history. I was just saying, let's, keep it open that it was more, and it was a lot of them inviting and traveling with these people as well.
Right. Yeah, because Africans used to come over as well, way before the Europeans was traveling over and doing trades with the Native Americans as well. Long before.
That's why this discovery thing is a big joke.
Exactly. Long before anybody else.
They play too much.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
Right. The other thing that I have in open topics is I was just curious about this one. Would you go on a dating reality show? Why or why not?
No.
Why not?
No.
I
I'm
wouldn't.
not for the whole first. It's glamorized to a point of what we've been talking about, where a lot of things negatively come out of them. I'm not. The reality shows and all that stuff it's not good for my opinion. It's not healthy for our community. It's really not. It's a bunch of foolishness. If we're gonna, in the main topics, we talked about change and all these destructive things are going on around us. And then in the high side, just because it's put in a light of entertainment, it's still not healthy. People not perceiving it as just, oh, that's funny, that's a joke. They're perceiving it as this is real, and they're taking it into real life.
Right.
That's exactly mine. And I don't like being on display anyway. So no, I would have a problem with that. Especially if somebody is trying to tell me what to say or telling me that I'm boring, because I can shut down. And I don't want to participate in stuff I don't want to participate in. So I wouldn't even be good for their show in the first place. They'd kick me off.
Right. Well, yeah,
It's a waste of everybody's time, mine and theirs.
Yeah. I already knew you wouldn't, Auntie Janisha, because you and I are are a lot alike. So I already knew you wouldn't.
Auntie, that you ain't knew I would not go on a reality show. Do I seem like the person who would have gone on a reality show?
You know what? From you change from day to day. I never know what's going on in your head.
You might be on to something, baby girl. But no, I don't think any of my personalities fit with a reality show.
I never look when the wind blows in your direction. I never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I give you that. But again, I don't think none of my personalities actually fit with the reality shows.
Oh.
So yeah, even my more goofier sides or my animated sides, as people would say, they don't still fit with the reality show thing. So you're right, Auntie, but yeah, I don't fit there.
Right.
Mm-mm.
And then, so I because I'm getting ready to go back to school, I'm waiting for acceptance. I just wanted to ask you guys, what are you looking forward to in the future, either personally or professionally?
Oh, I would like to say I would like to be married, and
Again,
I will, yes, again. Oh Lord, don't put me, don't do me, honey, baby. Yes, I want a healthy marriage, and I would like for my financial status to be to eat with different streams of income, and yeah, just living my best life. Good. I ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Definitely won't be a trucker.
Auntie, you've heard that song before?
no.
No, you gotta hear this song. You laugh like you heard that song before.
Okay.
No, it was
And I
just
was pretty sure you had not heard that song. Oh, you're gonna hear it when we get off of here today.
no,
Absolutely.
it was just the way that she did it. It was
Because
funny.
that's how it goes. It's
Oh,
a good
okay.
song.
No, it was the way she did it that was funny. So what
Yeah,
about you,
I'm just
Auntie?
looking for my family to be in a better position than I'm at where I can help more and be traveling every month with my mama, child, because she's showing up on it, but trying to play catch up.
What
She's
about
trying to make all of us retire early.
what about you, Auntie Janisha?
I'm about my money. I'm a Capricorn, so I'm about my funyuns, my money. I want to get that up. So I am back in school right now, and I anticipate being with the first part. I'll be done in the spring, but I'm gonna go right back in as I'm trying to get my. I am going to get my master's, and yeah, I'm gonna use that to accelerate my life. As far as being married again, I've done that. I would love to be married again, but it's not on my, it's like if I don't, because I'm on legacy right now. So
Right.
maintaining this property, I would love to really be a farmer along with out there in the psychology world, but I really want to get this property looking like a micro farm, a small farm. Those are my goals, because I want my family also to have a place to come to and be happy and safe. So those are my goals. And a nice gentleman that I can be a lady to, and he be a masculine man to me and my femininity. That would be such a wonderful plus. Otherwise, I'm not pressed. It's okay, because I've done all of that already.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I am looking forward to going back to school, studying cybersecurity, because that's what I want my next business to be. Can't wait to get new knees and want to get my property to where it's sustainable, to where I am eating what I'm growing. That's my next goal.
I
So
totally
right
agree with that.
now, because I'm dealing with this temporary disability, I found an indoor greenhouse, and so I'm going to start with an indoor greenhouse, and then after I get my new knees and I can move around more, I'll transfer it to an outdoor vegetable garden. But yeah.
Auntie,
Yes, ma'am.
you know what my nearest future looks like?
What's that?
Getting that sleep that y'all woke me up from. I mean, that's just right now in the cosmos, you know.
Okay. And as far as relationships, yeah, I'm ready to be in a relationship again. I'm
What?
yeah, I'm almost there. It's
Um,
just it's finding him.
Hold on, 'cause I gotta be a little nosy. Are you looking to get the two husbands, three husbands, or you just going with you and one other partner? How you playing this side?
That's a whole nother show. You skipping ahead.
I will be in whatever relationship the universe brings.
I know that's right, girl. Get your men on. I know that's right.
See,
I ain't
me and
mad
the
at
universe
you.
gotta have a conversation.
I know
I
that's
can't
right.
keep this going willy nilly on this. I'm too old for that.
Hey, oh,
See,
Pooh, you see
No,
that
it's
TikTok?
like no universe. I don't know now.
See, I gotta send you
That's
this
how my life.
TikTok, right? And it goes hand in hand what you're saying now. So the lady, she is walking down the road, and this guy is out there promoting, bringing people to God, right?
okay.
And his grill is totally messed up, like no teeth, nothing. And she gets in the car, which he had stuff on his teeth. He really do have teeth, but she gets in the car, and the Lord, like, oh, before she walks to get to the car, sorry about that. He asks her out on a date, and she declined very nicely and proceeds to get in her car. Well, the Lord talks to her and say, well, you know that's your soulmate, right? And she told this conversation. But the Lord, like, so you for real right now? That's him. And the Lord, like, yeah, that's him. That's you. Get on out the car and go on over there. And she was like, but you don't have none of those magical or heavenly, what's those fake teeth everybody been getting, the veneer, what they call Poochie?
Veneers.
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 So you just ain't gonna sit no with him. I cried laughing. I gotta see y'all this video.
Oh, that
It
is
was
funny.
so funny. Yeah.
That's funny. Auntie Janisha, you had something for open topics. What was your
No, that was actually Marva. But while we're sitting here talking about our future, because I've been thinking about this lately. If certain things were to happen in my life on this property, I have been considering going back out on the road trucking.
okay? I thought
Just
you didn't like it though.
it's not that I didn't like it, it's that there are more important things for me to be doing right now.
Okay.
Because I actually enjoyed it out there. It's just I was missing much. You know, I have grandchildren and grandmother, and I'm one of those people where I know things will eat at me. And if something had happened to her while I was out there, even though she's not the easiest person to get along with, there's a lot of muddled history. There's nothing I can do with it after the fact. So I'm home seeing this through for however long it takes. She could outlive me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just so I won't have any regrets in my life. Because I do love the lady. I mean, really, but she's my grandma, so I'm here. But that's kind of what I'm talking about. If something happened, I'm gonna want to break away. And I was thinking about that. But I said that to say this. I've been going through my stuff. Y'all saw me this whole time, been going through my things. This is my very first book that I use for trucking.
Oh.
From the very first page to the last page is all places that I went.
Oh, wow.
Every last place that I went when I first started trucking.
Cool.
So it's October 26, 2016. And the last day that I have in here is March 28th, 2017. And then I went to another book.
Wow.
Kind of cool.
That is
That
cool.
is cool.
Auntie Michelle, do you have anything for open topics?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because Auntie Marva had to jump off and take a call.
Yeah.
So, and she has not returned as of yet. Well, here's something. Do you know your love language, and how do you ensure that it is being nurtured in your relationship?
My love language is food.
She said her love language is food. I don't remember food being part of the 5 love languages. Okay,
look, that's the 6th love language.
That's the 6th. That's the 6th.
You say oranges. You say
Myself.
oranges. I say oranges.
And you're right that they should put that in there. Mine is it's 2. I like time, but I like time that means something. Like I don't have to be up under them. I prefer people not to be around me because then I don't have to be. I could just be when I'm by myself, right?
Yes.
And I'm an attentive person, but at the same time, if you're not here, I ain't got to be attentive. I could be doing my projects, and I do have a lot of projects all the time. So, but quality time is a big one for me.
Yes.
And not just not do stuff. That's her. In my last marriage, he would send me on trips by myself. And I would always feel like I may as well be a single woman, And he paid for all that, put money in my pocket, all those things. But, some women are fine with that. That's not something I desire. Quality time. And then also words of affirmation. It's not so much as words of affirmation, but it is the way that people talk to me.
Yes.
That matter a lot.
Yes.
So those two.
Yeah, we have the same. Mine is also quality time. And my second one is acts of service. Those are my two. Okay, Auntie Michelle, she said hers was food. So I guess as long
I
as she's
mean,
being fed.
no, but definitely is it will have to be the time. Like I'm like Janisha. I don't like people up under me. The more I started to understand and learn myself,
Mhm.
that is one of my biggest things. That's people constantly being up under me. I don't care for it. I tolerate it, but it was something that I was going against the grain with in my relationships. I'm not big on that. But definitely spending time with people is a big thing to me. And I would have to say, yeah, most definitely how people talk.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's in any relationship, period.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the number one. And I would definitely you stay in your lane and I stay in mine. That codependent and dependent type of thing. No, 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 no.
Mm-mm.
Definitely not a big on that when it comes to like the control or you telling me how to do things. I'm telling you how to do things, and no, that's a definitely no. And I will not tolerate or deal with anything in such in any type of relationship with me, family ship, relationships, business ships, anything. So yeah, those are the top three of them.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I don't like people constantly in my space. And when it comes to finding relationships, I'm lazy. I am not going to put in the work that it takes to find a relationship. But once I'm in the relationship, oh, I'll put in all the work to keep and nurture the relationship. It's just all the stuff you have to do to get in the relationship. And that's just time consuming. I'd rather read a book.
And, so I do have a little topic I've been working on.
Okay.
It's a self-thing empath. So I've been searching out ways to keep my energy in control because I found out I'm an empath. Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really, really, but really not really. But the book I'm in right now, I recommend anybody what energy drains really fast or energy changes in different environments and you want to know how to control them. I recommend this book. It's Empaths for melanated people for the melanin, but it don't say people, but it's a really good book and it have different types of empaths.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be one or the other because there's so many types of empaths out there that you can find different starter points with that book. So I just like to throw that out there.
Oh, okay. I just finished The Attach, and that book talks about the three attachment styles, which are secure, avoidance, and the third one, I gotta let me get the book because and then I can tell you what the third one is. The third one is anxious. And so I took the test and I was pretty sure that mine was going to be avoidant, but mine actually turned out to be secure, which I was excited about because it let me know that all the work that I done was worth it. So I think in our next episode, we're gonna take the test and then we'll see what everybody else's attachment style is.
Okay.
It's a really interesting book. Well, I was hoping that Auntie Marva would jump back on because I know she had something in topics, but it looks like she's going to be longer than she expected. So we can go ahead and end episode 3. Thank you guys for your
Yay.
time. Yay, we made our 3rd episode. It's so exciting. And we will see everybody next month. Take care
Absolutely.
and be blessed.
All right. See you
Peace,
next
y'all.
time. Good night.